everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I wanted to share with you today my next design team project for Country Craft Creations. I made a little folio using the Carta Bella My Valentine collection, and this could be a folio for Valentine's Day, or it could just be a love folio. You could put in things in here that you love. So I tried not to use anything that said Valentine on it, but you definitely could. And then I also made a little shaker, and I will explain the shaker a little bit later. But this is a 6x8 folio, so it's 6 inches wide, 8 inches tall, and the spines are 1/2 inch thick. You know, with the thickness of the Carta Bella paper, it does get a little bit heavy, but yeah, it seems to be holding together really well with the magnets. Oh, there's the back. I just put one of the ephemera pieces on here. It says, "You have my heart." I love plaid, and I love this red and white. So this paper, and it's not necessarily directional because it has different rows of hearts. Some of them are outside. They're not outside. Some of them are upside down. Some of them are right side up. So I love this. It looks like they were watercolored on the paper. This is an ephemera piece. Just says love on it. I added a couple of diamond dots in a light pink and a red. I used some red trim that you can get at Country Craft Creations. This is all I have left. Oh no. So it's the little teeny tiny pom-poms. So I got that. I have it in red, and I also have some in white. I'm going to have to reorder because I'm running out. And then these are these stickers? Yeah, these are the stickers, these little banners here from the collection. Oh, I hope you can see it. There you go. Yeah, I just turned them into a little banner. I added some black and white twine, and I put a couple of little diamond dots in red on the bows. And yeah, so then I just added some 3/8 inch trim to the, pattern paper to the spines, all 4 sides. So you can see this opens like this. Again, I just used some of the ephemera here. I didn't do too much in the way of matting. There are magnets right here and right here that actually hold these flaps closed, so I didn't want to cover them up too much. But I used the large basic gray magnets, and they're very strong. So these are just 2 of the ephemera piece. I think this is a frame and tag piece, and this is an ephemera piece. So I just kind of tuck those back behind there. So this is the bottom flap. It opens like that. So down here, I just have one of the ephemera pieces and a couple more diamond dots, and it says "Made with Love." How perfect and fitting was that? So I'm just going to scooch this up here. You can see this is made out of, there's a right flap, a left flap, a bottom flap, a top flap. There's flaps everywhere. So I'll show you, this is the bottom flap, and it says, "You make my heart so very happy." Again, it doesn't necessarily have to be Valentine's Day. It can be, but it doesn't have to be. There's a "Be Mine." Did I just tuck that up underneath there? You can put a photo right here. Again, the magnets to hold it shut are right here. So I didn't want to cover them up because this paper is pretty thick. I love this postage stamp paper. It is probably one of my favorites in the collection. So you can see here, there's a magnet. I think, where's the magnet? Oh, it's right here. So it holds that shut. There is the inside on this gorgeous little tandem bicycle. No, that's not a tandem. There is 2 seats. I was going to say, I thought there was only 1 seat. So it's a tandem bicycle. It says, "Enjoy your ride, hand in hand, side by side." I thought that was so sweet. And there's a little basket of flowers. I love this paper. It's so pretty. You can, again, it's open here, so you can put a photograph there. So this is gorgeous. Here's a couple more ephemeras. It says "I love you" here, and this says I love you, USPS. No, nobody loves the USPS, but you know, you get, it's a stamp. And then this flaps open like this. We'll look at the inside since it's easier. So there is a pocket here on the inside, and these are some of the cut-aparts, the 4x6 cut-aparts. I don't know if you can, I don't think I could get close enough where you can see the texture on the paper, but it looks like watercolor paper. It is so pretty. So that just says love, and these solid colors of cardstock are from the coordinating cardstock pack, I believe is what it's called. So this one says love, this one says a true love story never ends, and I love the typewriter. I miss typewriters. They were so fun. And then this one, I only put in 3. Happy Love Day. You could put in more if you wanted to. There's plenty of room in the pocket. And then there's also room here for another photo. So over here on the right side flap is just a small little waterfall. And this is just one of the ephemera pieces. I love to put an ephemera piece or a chipboard piece right here. I didn't want to do chipboard on this one because it's only a 1/2 inch spine and I didn't want it to, you know, be all wonky. So there's my closure. It's a magnetic closure. I absolutely in love with this paper too. This is just one of the ephemera pieces. That says you're a cutie. Oh, this does say Valentine's wishes. It says hugs and kisses and Valentine's wishes. I could cover that up with something, but it's fine. Love that polka dotted paper. And I left this side blank for journaling or another photo if you wanted. There's another cute little postage stamp. This one says roses are red, violets are blue, and I love you. Again, I left that open so that you can just slide the photo. Oh, that looks really crooked. Left it so you could just slide the photo. That's a sticker, says always and forever, and then this is the last page, and that says so lovely. So then that just closes up. So you can see, you can probably get, I don't know how many photos. You could get 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, probably 14 photos in here if you wanted to. Yeah, this would be great for, you know, like if you go out on an outing during the day. And I just realized I forgot to cover this one with pattern paper. So don't tell anybody. So anyway, so this, the right side, because of the way I did the magnets, flaps first, the left side, the bottom, and then the top flap, and it holds it all. Oops, it holds it all. You know, nothing's moving. So I love it. It's so cute. So, and it's super easy to make. My thought was it would be cute to make like 4 of these. Or you could do 6 of these, however you wanted to do it. But for a child's school, so you could do 1 year is grade 9, maybe if they're in high school. One of these is grade 9, 10, 11, and 12. Or you could do 3 of them, elementary school. I don't know school systems where you might be, but here where I live, it's elementary school, middle school, high school. So that would be fun. So many, if you have 3 children, 1 for each child, or 4 children, 1 for each child, and then you could build a little box to house them all. Oh my goodness, the possibilities are endless. So let's get into making this. This is very easy to make. Oh, let me show you my little shaker also. Sorry for the glare. So this is one of the waffle flower. I made this using one of the waffle flower shaker covers. Darn it, I covered it up. So let me show you. They look like this. Okay, so I think you get, oh, you get 5 in a pack. Where is the one I took out to show you? Can't seem to find it. Oh, it's right here. Okay, so it looks like this. There is a film, a protective film, so it doesn't get scratched. and I'll show you at the end how we take that off. I just have a piece of cardstock that I believe is 4.5 by 4.25 by 5.5. That's A2, right? Yeah, 4.25 by 5.5. I just cut that down. So this is 110-pound cardstock. It's pretty, you can hear it's pretty sturdy. The way I did mine is I cut a piece of the 4.25 by 5.5, and then I also cut, just made it about an 1/8 inch smaller, a piece of pattern paper to set it inside there. So you take it and you lay it inside. It's already pre-scored and everything for you. You can see there's adhesive on it already. And just lay it in there, fold these over, and then of course you would take the adhesive off. So I fold over 3 sides, slide the pattern paper in, and then slide in my sequin mix or shaker mix, whatever you're using, and then seal the top, and it's done. Now I was going to put this on the front of my folio, but I changed my mind. I just think this is super cute. You could just do this as like a card. You could attach some ribbon here. I think I have just a little too much sequins in there, but I love sequins. You can never have too much. See how pretty it is? Just love it. There's little lips in there. I got those from Tammy, the little white hearts. From Tammy, meaning Country Craft Creations. And the rest of it was some sequins mix that I had in my stash. Yeah, so you could attach some ribbon up here and you could hang this up in your craft room. You could make this a card front, just attach it to a card base. I just added a couple of little ephemera pieces, left this open to slide a photo behind. And what I originally had in mind with this one was to put it in the pocket, which you could. It fits in the pocket. And it stays, everything stays shut. So super fun. So, but we'll make that at the end. So I will be right back and we will get started on this folio. All right, so let's get started. So what you're gonna need is a few sheets of solid color cardstock. I suggest using a sturdy cardstock. Like you don't just want, I don't know, like a 65-pound weight. I like to do, if I'm not going to use chipboard, I like to start with 110-pound cardstock because it's very sturdy and it's not going to warp when you put glue on it. If you decide to use glue. So yeah, so I like to do the 110-pound cardstock as the base. So we will start with what we'll need. Let me get these out of the way. You're going to need a few pieces. Again, it's going to come together really quickly. We're going to start with the back cover. 6 by 8 is the back cover. Done. Then we'll move to the right side flap. You're going to want one piece. Actually, you can cut 2 of these because we need one for the right. And, whoops, I thought I was backwards. One for the left and one for the right. So you want 2 pieces that are 6 3/4 by 7 3/4. Okay. Then for the front flap, the one that comes up from the bottom, you're going to want one piece that's 6 by 8 3/4. And all this is in the description box, but I just like to go over it with you. Then the top flap is 4.5 by 6. Okay, so let's just start with the top flap since it's the one in my hand. So for the top flap, we're going to put that in our scoreboard. Where's my scoreboard? You know, get out your favorite scoreboard. This is the Caterpillar. It's not my favorite, I have to say. I like it, but I don't know, maybe I'm old school. I just like the Scor Pal, but I'm trying to give this a chance. So, all right, so we have our back cover, and then we're going to take our top flap. So again, it's 4.5 by 6 inches. We're going to put it in our scoreboard. Excuse my hand. And we are going to, oh, that light. Oh, good gravy. I hope you can see. On the 4.5, the 4.5 inch side, we're going to score it at 1/2 inch. And then we're going to also score it at 1 inch. And this paper is a little bit thick, so you may have to score it twice. But you don't want to score it so hard that you cut through the paper. So ask me how I know. All right, let's set those two aside. And the flap, the front flap, again, that's 6 inches by 8 3/4. We might as well just go through and score them all. On the 8 3/4 inch side, we're going to score at 1/2 and 1 inch. So 1/2 and 1 inch. Pretty much that's all the scores on most of this, so it's pretty easy. Okay, so then we have the right flap is 6 3/4 by 7 3/4. On the 6 3/4 inch side, we're going to score again at 1/2 and 1. Do the same thing with the right flap on the 6 3/4 inch side, score at 1/2 and 1. So then we have the waterfall. I'll switch over to the waterfall. It's a 3 flap waterfall, so I did this old school. On the 4 3/4, so we want 3 of these. I don't think I said that. 3 of these are 4 3/4 by 6 1/4. So you want 3 of those. On the 4 3/4 inch side, we're just going to score at 1/2 inch. And you're going to do that on all 3. Okay? And then for the waterfall closure, I'll write this down. Okay, so you want 3 that are, what did I say? 4 3/4 by 6 1/4. Those are the waterfall pieces. And then the closure is 2 1/4 by 3, is it 3 1/2? 3 3/4. So your waterfall closure is 2 1/4 by 3 3/4. If you don't like the thickness of it, you can cut it in half. You can make it 1.5 inches. I was going to say the standard for waterfall closures is 1.5 inches. There is no standard. There is no right. There is no wrong way. I just like to do at least 1/2 inch, or 1.5 inches, sorry. So on the 3 3/4 inch side, we're going to score it at 1/2 inch. Okay, and then the last piece for your pocket page, we want, one piece that's 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. This is the center pocket piece. We are going to, on the 6 3/4 inch side, well, it doesn't really matter, you're going to score it at 1/2 inch on 3 sides. So you're going to score 1/2 inch on the 2 short sides and 1 of the long side. Okay, pretty easy, right? That's all the scoring we have to do. That's all we need. So it's pretty simple. So let's start with the back cover. I'll leave that on until we're done with that. Is 6 by 8. I am going to start off by putting the top flap on. So your back cover, your top flap. Let me grab my, what is this? Bone folder. So I'm going to go ahead and fold on my 2 score lines. Give it a nice crease. Nice and crisp. Make sure it's straight. So what ends up happening is this becomes your top spine, if you want to think of it that way. So what I did is, and you could do this either way, You can put your, if you're going to use score tape or some other sort of strong double-sided adhesive, you could put it on the inside of that flap and then lay your back cover on top of it like that. Or if you prefer, you could set it up on top of it. Like you could put the adhesive on the back and set it up there. It doesn't matter either way. It's just a matter of personal preference. And that's just the way I like to do it. So you do whatever works better for you, whatever you feel more comfortable with. So I'm taking off the backer. And I'm just going to line this up. See? See what happens when you get a little bit cocky? Okay. Make sure it's straight. You do. I don't know why I try that. I am not left-handed. Now you don't want to, you see that first score line? You don't want this page to go beyond that score line. You want to butt it right up against the score line. You don't want to cause any interference, and you want to make sure it's straight-ish. So just do your best to line it up. One thing that you might have already noticed that I've done is I already went ahead and rounded all the corners. You can see all my flaps are rounded. Here, this is rounded. This is rounded. You do not have to do that. You can keep it squared off. I just used a 1/2-inch corner rounder. You know, one of these jobs. But you could use any one of them. You could use this. You could the scallop, the deco edge, the ticket. I think it's called stub. I think that's all of them. Let me see, I have scallop and stub, angle and photo. Oh, you could angle them too, which they'll look like tickets, or deco and stub. Why do I have 2 stubs? I don't know. Anyway, do whatever you like. So there we have our top flap is connected. Just because I'm right here, I'm going to take my left flap, and we've already scored them. We rounded the corners. I'm folding on my score lines. Another reason why I like to use the 110-pound cardstock. See how that's just so nice and sturdy? Yeah, I like it. You could, and I have used artisan cardstock because it is a little bit thicker. And then by the time you put pattern paper on, it's going to be plenty sturdy enough. So yeah, so I try to line this up on my grid, make sure everybody's lined up straight, and then bring this over. Again, try not to go over that score line. Now you'll notice up here, so let me fold that back. So you notice I have just a little bit of a gap right here. I think that's fine. I think it's about 1/4 of an inch maybe. I don't mind that, mostly because this is going to fold over like that, and I just didn't want any interference. If you don't like that, then you can make, instead of this being 7 3/4 of an inch tall, you can make it 8 inches tall, but I was just trying to avoid, so you see, there's that little bit of a gap, but I think it works fine. All right, let's do the same. You can see I already put my adhesive on the inside flap, the inside of the flap for the right side, and I'm going to fold and burnish. Remove the backer, line this up again. Okay. Whoa! And then, actually I should start at the bottom, straighten it out. What I'm trying to do is line the bottom corner, and then once you get the bottom corner lined up, It's just a matter of, which I think I might have been, oh, no, it's good. Let's go back in, give that another nice burnish, and see how that all holds together. Let's do that on this side. Oh, what did I do? Line it up. We're just defining, kind of like defining how it flaps in. So there's the left and the right. Now we need to bring this bottom piece. Give it a good burnish. Alright, this is our bottom flap. So we're gonna, oops. So we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna line it up. Actually, it might be better to just make sure everything fits before you stick it down, in case your measurement's off. Looks like everything's gonna be fine. And when I say your measurement, I mean mine. Okay. Okay, sorry, I forgot to turn off my phone. So there we go. So we have the right flap, we have the left flap, and then we have this flap. And then the top flap is going to flap down. Flaps are flapping everywhere. And then you just want to square this up before you put down your magnets. And then what I like to do, actually I'm not going to do the top yet. Let's add, you don't really even need a magnet here for these two because you see how they lay really nicely. So let's just see without putting it in there. Let's just see what happens. All right, so for, where are my magnets? I'm going to grab a couple of magnets. Where'd it go? I can never get these magnets out of this package. These are the basic gray. Oh, lost that one. These are the basic gray large magnets, and I only have 2 left. So I'm going to just pull these out. You need 1 positive and 1 negative. I should say I only have 2 large ones left. Okay, so thinking I'm going to put them on here first. So, my pokey tool. And I don't know if there's, like I said, no rhyme or reason. But I don't know if there's any type of a special way to do it. I just make sure that, I don't think you need the positive or the negative first. I don't know. But I'm just going to go ahead and put this one here. And I just start with the positive on the bottom because that's just the way I always do it. But there's no real reason why. And then what I want to do is make sure this is squared up. So see how that's on a little bit of an angle? Not that doesn't really bother me that much. But it's just nice to make sure it's lined up. And okay, then I'm going to grab a pencil. I'm just going to, since I'm covering this with pattern paper anyway, I'm just going to put a little mark to say that that's where, you know, that's how far down my, instead of doing that and then I end up with that and then it just looks horrible. So then I know to kind of just stop right there. Same over here on this side. I hope that makes sense to you guys. If not, somebody will scream at me. But what I am going to do is I am going to close. No, better not. Decide now at this point whether you want your right or your left in, you know, to flap in first. I'm just out of habit. I go right to left. Okay, so then I'm going to take the backer off here. Maybe just do one at a time. Stand that up. Okay, push down on one. There we go. And then what I like to do, and I'm sure it's overkill because there is adhesive on these magnets, but I have had magnets let go. So I like to put a piece of Scor tape across them. It's not to say that the Scor tape won't let go, but it might. You just never know. And then let's do this one. Just a little extra protection there. And then when I put the pattern paper on, we'll take that backing paper off. Okay. No. Oh, whoops. Okay. All right. There we go. Just stick those down a little. So it really is that easy. You can see the magnets kind of pull it all into square. Okay. Then the only thing I don't like is this is not as square as I'd like. So I think I'm going to see how it moves just that littlest bit? It's okay. I think that works fine. Yeah. Okay, we'll leave it at that. All right, so next, since we're here, we might as well put our pocket on. So we have our pocket that is 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. We scored it at 1/2 inch on 3 sides. Okay, and we are going to miter out the corners. So right where the 2 score lines intersect, we're just going to go ahead and cut it out like that, and then we're going to miter this corner. So you see what we did? We just cut that out. And we're going to do the same on this one. Yep, I missed. Do that again. There we go. Okay. And then we're going to just do what we've done a million times. Fold on the score lines. Give it a good crease. Again, this is a little bit of a thicker paper, so I want to make sure you really get it. And then I always get these little dealy jobs here. Okay, and then what I like to do is fold in the bottom flap, flatten it out, and then fold over the 2 sides. Just makes it easier without having everything flapping all over the place. Oops, that's not supposed to be in the shot. Okay, so let's bring this back in. Now you can, if you want to, you can wait until you wait to put on your pocket until you cover this with pattern paper, but I really don't care. Because I'm going to put an 1/8 inch border around it anyway. So I'm just going to center this right along the bottom. As you can see, on the one I did already, You can't tell that I didn't take the paper all the way to the bottom, right? Because there's that little bit of a gap there. If that bothers you, then by all means go ahead and cover it with paper, but I didn't think I needed to. So, yeah. Oops. Okay, so there's our pocket. Let's just give it a nice burnish. What is all over my desk? Especially down here. Make sure everything sticks really well. And if you don't like Scor tape, normally I would do glue, you know, my art glitter glue. But just for the sake of the video, to try to get through the video quickly, I just use Scor tape. So there's our pocket. Okay. And now for my next trick. We are going to put down the waterfall. Okay, so for the waterfall base, I decided to cut a waterfall base. You're going to want a piece that's 5 1/4 by 4 1/4, or no, 5 1/4 by 6 1/4. Sorry about that. And then what we're going to do is attach the waterfall pages to this base, and then attach the base into the book. So there's our base. Let's take our pages, fold along the score line. Now on this one, I put the adhesive on the back of the tab. So here is the waterfall flap. So here is the tab, and I consider this the inside of the tab, and this is the outside of the tab. So I am going to fold this away from me along the score line, and the same with the third one. Okay, so then you can see what will happen is this is the waterfall base. We're going to attach this to the flaps to this base, and then we'll attach, after you cover this with pattern paper, then you can attach this right to your base. I mean, to your book. So, grab the first one, line this up on your mat, put it in your scoreboard, or however you need to line it up. So I'm lining it up with the grid lines on my mat. I don't know if you can see that, but no, my fingers are in the way. But I like to line up the very corner, and then I can see we've got the teeny, oh, you can't even see it on there, so I'm not even going to say it. It's not crooked, but it's not straight. It's straight-ish. Okay, let's move to the second one. And then if you watch any of my videos, any of the design team videos, we all do this kind of similarly. So I'm sure if you've made anybody else's projects, you've done this 100 times already, but maybe you're new here. And if you are, hello, please consider liking and subscribing. So yeah, so then we're going to take this next flap, fold it under, and just butt that right up against the previous one. Like I mentioned, I like to start off with one corner and then do a thumb chaser. Make sure it's straight. So then you have that. And then we're going to add the third one. Okay, and I like to turn it upside down because it's easier for me to see. So I'm going to go ahead and line that up one more time. Stick it down. Now see, that one I have a little teeny sliver of a gap, but I don't think it's going to matter. So there you go. Now you could round this corner also if you wanted to. I say let's just keep up with the trim. Oops. Okay, and voila. So we have, I would like just leave like maybe a little more than 1/8 of an inch gap here from the score line. And then again, I'm not going to stick this down yet until after we put pattern paper in. But now we have our waterfall closure. Again, that was 2 1/4 by 3 3/4, I believe. We scored it at 1/2 of an inch on the 3 3/4 inch side. Oops, I did that the wrong way. Here we go. I put the adhesive on the bottom of the tab, or the outside of the flap tab. And now there's something stuck in it. Okay, so then I'm going to center this about right where it would be in my book. And then with the adhesive side down, I'm going to, you could put it up here, you could put it in the center, you could put it down below, however you want it to look, but I'm going to center it underneath that waterfall base. Get it as straight as you can. Just make sure you leave a little bit of room. You don't want to go over the score line. Dang it, is that crooked? That is a little bit crooked. So I'm going to have to do some surgery here. I'm doing a waterfall tab closure excision. See, it works. Best craft tool ever made. This is a Cricut spatula. It's the original one from quite a few years ago. You can see it's kind of beaten up. It's got glue all over it. Best craft tool ever. Okay, so let me do that again. Line it up. Try to keep this straight. There we go. Okay. That I'm okay with putting down before I put down the pattern paper because I would have a gap around it anyway. So, and then what you want to do, since I only have these little baby ones left, I'm going to take out 2 of these. Oh, I swear, these magnets are insane. I can never get them out. Oh. There's one. Riveting stuff, right? Watching me try to get magnets out of the container. Okay. There we go. So I'm going to use 2 on this. Put these away. Okay, I'm going to put them over here. I'm only going to stick down one side, however, because I want to wait until I glue the waterfall pages in. I'm going to make sure you come down far enough from both the right edge and the top edge so that when you cover the inside with pattern paper, the magnet gets covered too. Okay. There we go. And that, I'm just going to leave that in there. That is our folio. I will have, see, it was pretty simple, right? You can decide whether you want to put something over here or not. Because there aren't any magnets, I would not put anything with any dimension because you're covering this up, right? It's flapping over top of this. You can put a couple photo mats and maybe some stickers, but on the inside, but I wouldn't put anything two-dimensional on any of these pages on the inside. And again, your magnet kind of pulls it all together. And yeah, you're going to cover this with pattern paper so you won't see any of this, any of the uglies as I like to call it. So we can take all this off. And then again, this works for any theme, any event, anything. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do this one. I think I might actually, I think I do know what I'm going to do with it. And I will come back in and show you what I did with it at the end of the video. So yeah, those are our two little folios. I think they're super, super cute. Now, for this, I think I've already shown you basically how to do it. You're going to, like I said, cut yourself a 4 1/4 wide by 5.5 tall. Your piece of pattern paper or whatever. Again, I like to keep it a little sturdy. Use a sturdier paper. And then cover it with pattern paper on the inside. And then you just wrap these. I'll just go ahead and do it. Remove the adhesive. Now, you can see, I don't know if you can see, but I can tell. See how that's scored right there? So this is my piece of paper. I'm going to push it up, holding up that flap. Make sure it's all lined up. And then I'm going to push that down. Okay? So that's, you have something like that left. Now, I am not going to remove my protective film yet until I actually put this all together. But then you can go over to the right-hand side. Stick that down. To the left-hand side. Again, just making sure that everything, excuse me, making sure everything closes. And you see how you get that little bit of a, I don't want to call it a gap, but it kind of bubbles up, which is okay. Let me see, I don't want to scratch it. Where's the film? There it is. Okay. I'll just take the protective film off. So there is a protective film. You can see it's peeling off. I just like to leave it on till the end so that I don't ruin anything, but I wanted you to at least see it since I'm not going to seal this one. So you take the protective film off. Take your shaker mix. See, mine has all kinds of pretties in it. It's got red hearts and pink hearts and fuchsia color sequins. It's got black with white polka dots, white with black polka dots. There's some like a minty green color in there. There's some little arrows. I don't know if you can see that little arrow right there. Super cute. Now I have a little spoon somewhere. I have a little baby cutesy spoon. And then what I do is, because we sealed all three sides, right? So you just take your shaker mix, put in however much you want, and then you'll seal that shut, and you can see it doesn't come out. Well, because I'm holding it, but it won't come out. So, yeah, and the problem with me and shakers is when I make them with, you have to get out the foam, and you have to glue the foam to the acetate, and it's just a hassle. These are fantastic. So, yeah, and I know Tammy has them in the store, and I think they come in different sizes. But this one is the 4 1/4 by 5, what was it? For A2 cards, 4 1/4 by 5.5, and it's a 5-pack. So I just think it's super cute, and I actually just saw in the corner of my desk, I just saw some pink and red flowers. I think on this one, I'm going to put some flowers around here. I left, and you can't really tell, but I left this open here so that you could put a photo in there. I just thought that was so cute. And then there's some Scor tape along that top, and you could just peel the Scor tape off and seal it shut. I think I put a photo of me and Michael D in there. How cute, right? And there's nothing like that shaker sound. I love that shaker sound. Anyway, yeah, so that's my deal. So please feel free to reach out and ask me if you have any other questions about how to use those shaker covers. So again, this is my Love Folio with the shaker, with the fun shaker. And yeah, I hope if you make this that you will tag me on social media. So hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody has a great weekend, and I will be back again soon. Thanks. Bye.